Welcome to Sakrete Pro Tip, Uneven Slab Repair. Today we've chosen to address this situation using Sakrete Top and Bond. However, there are several ways to deal with an uneven slab. Let's go over those real quick before we go to the most efficient way to get there. First of all, please understand an uneven slab cannot be ignored. It is a trip hazard. There are more folks in the hospital because they tripped on a chunk of concrete that went ignored. So what do you do about it? One that's most expensive but yet is complete would be simply to remove the slab, address the grade issue that caused the uneven slab, and then re-pour. Second on the scale of economics, which you're often going to see in football stadiums, for example, is where they take a concrete planer and actually grind and cut this high lip of concrete away. It's very ugly, it stands out like a sore thumb, but it does give them a smooth transition and they get to leave the concrete in place. The third solution, and by far the most efficient in that it's cost effective plus a speedy way to solve the problem, is to do an uneven slab repair. Now, as a last note of caution, it still is a repair. This type scenario where one piece of concrete rose and the rest of it stayed, there's a root or something happened to cause the shift. Doing the repair I'm going to show you is a repair, meaning it's a Band-Aid. You may get lucky and this slab has quit shifting and it'll stay fixed for years. Or the very next day you could have another slab elevation change and it's going to pop and crack what we've just repaired. So with that in mind, let's get on with addressing how to do this repair. So the first step in what we're going to do is deciding how far out do you want to take the slope you're going to create that gets rid of this tripping hazard. Easy way to do it is take your steel float, your trowel, set it on the edge and see how far out do you want to go. I use this as a gauge. When I get it to where I'm comfortable with the angle, then just put down some painter's tape. The painter's tape will serve as my line to give a nice clean edge from where it goes to feather edge up to, in this case, it's a 1/2 inch lift. Then we'll remove the painter's tape at the end. So with the painter's tape in place, I'm going to start by bringing this concrete to SSD. Why? Because Top and Bond has polymer in it. We do not do a prime coat. If the material you choose to go with doesn't have the modification, then you need to prime it first. The next step, we're going to mix up our Top and Bond to a flowable, loose consistency to get down into this crack. So for filling the crack, we've made a loose consistency. Let's take a look at it. So it's oatmeal, but it's on the runnier side. I'm going to fill the crack and then rod it like that. So you'll notice I'm using my margin trowel tip to rod the material. What I'm doing is forcing the fines down in the crack. This is an unusual situation in that we're hoping that the slab is finished moving. And so to do this repair, I first want to get that void and that slice filled up with the material that's going to firm up and make a solid member. The only way to get it down there is to rod it. So I've got the crack good and consolidated. The void is full. We've smeared it down on the top to seal everything up. The next step is to add more powder to my mixture, thicken it up a bit, and then we'll start building our slope from the high point to the low point. Now we're going to begin the repair, going from the high point to the low point. Here's the consistency. Because I'm building it up, I've made it a much thicker consistency. In the real world, you absolutely could put forms in here and use this at a wetter consistency. But for today's demo, I'm going to have to pull it dry. So we've come a long way. Like I said, at home, on your job sites, absolutely use a form. You don't need to freehand. But I just wanted to, I'm freehanding to show you this material is rapid setting. So it will allow you to freehand if you need to. So you don't have all day. You got to get on this, get it like you want it, and then leave it alone to set. The more you mess with a concrete surface, the more imperfections you can create. So get it in the basic shape and smooth it as you wish. And then you're going to let it firm up, and we're going to broom this when we come back. So we've got our slope, now gradual. As a last step, you can just take a paintbrush, give it a real light broom finish. That makes it non-slip. Then leave it alone for 24 hours. Then pull your painter's tape out of the way, and your repair is complete. No more tripping.